Good day and greetings from the Great White North. My name is Prickly Poo and welcome to day 109 of A Year of Change. Today, normally Wednesdays, we try to do something, introduce a new snack or a new sort of foodie thing. Like we've done spices and cereals and then regular snacks and stuff like that. And this week, we've got pretty much nothing. Not nothing. I've got a little something. But it's not as much as I thought it was going to be. But might be in the long... Anyway, basically what happened, earlier on this week, the Amy, Getting Fat Fitter, had done a quick little video on Yakama. There we go. Couldn't remember what it was. And so I thought, I'm going to try something a little different in following in that vein, because her video sort of said, try to be adventurous, try something new. So there's a city market where I am, in the city I live in, which is called, it's actually just called the City Market. And I thought I'm going to go there because I know that there's a produce stand there that usually carries a bunch of different weird and exotic things. And I thought I was going to try something different. So anyway, I got there and not a whole lot of different stuff. It's all the same stuff I could have gotten at any main store. So I rummaged around a little bit and I thought, okay, here's something I've never heard of. I'm going to grab this and I'm going to go with that. And it's called an Edo. And if you've never seen one, it looks like a little hairy potato. Which sounds like a knockoff of an obscure children's book that you probably have never heard of. So, I thought, okay, I'll go, I'll do a little bit of research on this. I had never heard of it before. It looks just like a regular root vegetable, so I'm going to just try that and go from there. So anyway, I started looking at... going online and taking a look at, trying to find out what it is, how to prepare it, and what differences it is. And it's pretty much a potato. So there's a reason why it looks this way. And so I was a little bit, I don't want to do one on just, it's a different kind of potato. It's like doing something on sweet potatoes. Or yams for some of you out there. That you just think, okay, well, everyone knows what it is, and you can't really go, oh, try a potato. So I thought, well, I'll look at the nutrition of it and see how different it is and what, there's almost no difference between this and a potato. There's a bit more fiber in it, but just like a potato, it's mainly made up of starches and carbohydrates, which are okay. But it got to a point where I was actually going to do something different today on this one. So I thought, okay, because I have no new information to go. Here's a different kind of potato that has the same calorie content and nutritional value as a potato. So try that. So I thought, okay, I'm going to at least try it and see where things go from here, because people have said, oh, no, it tastes very different than a potato. And I thought, the way things are going, I'm going to make this and it's just going to taste like a potato and I'm going to have nothing. So I just sort of chopped it in half. When you cut these, by the way, there were some that said that you should use gloves because apparently the raw Edo is toxic. So it can irritate your skin if you have sensitive skin. So they recommended using gloves, which I didn't because I'm just chopping it in half and throwing it in water. But apparently, if you eat it raw, you can get sick as well. So I think you can pretty much do that with potatoes or meat. So I cut it in half and then quartered part of it and threw it in the pot. When you open them, they still look like a potato. It's a bit smoother than a potato. It doesn't have that grainy texture to it, but it's very, very bright. This has actually been out for a while, so it hasn't really faded at all. So you have hairy potato on one side and the white part. Hairy potato and the white stuff on the other side. Butchering children's literature. Sorry. Anyway, so I thought, okay, I'm going to try this. I cut this in half and then just chop that in half again, threw it in the water. And I thought, okay, I'm going to boil it and then I'll just quickly dry pan fry it, I guess is what you would call it, to see what it's like. So, now I told you before, I'm a very big salt fan, and so normally I would put salt and butter and everything else on anything that resembles a potato, but for this I thought, okay, I'm just going to put a little bit of olive oil in there just so that it doesn't stick to the pan, and sort of mash it up a little bit and then just try it plain. because I wanted to get an actual sense of the flavor of it, rather than just saying, well, it tastes like a salted, buttery potato, which is fine. So, anyway, throughout this entire thing, I'm trying to find something else to actually talk about today, because I didn't want to come here and say, oh, well, it's a hairy potato, and it's just a potato. Not much else to it. So, anyway, put it in the pan, and it just went, okay, I'm going to try a little bit of it, and it's most definitely not a potato. Now, it's been a long, long time since I've had just a regular potato with nothing on it. So that might be something I should probably try. But this has a very unique taste to it. If you can imagine sort of having a mashed potato with the flavor of, I guess, a cashew mixed in with it, it's a really, really weird mixture. And the first time I tried it, I thought, okay, this is a little bit different. In the end, I mean, they're very small anyway, and I only bought one. But I ended up just trying the whole thing without any salt or butter or anything. And it's enough that you could do that. Like, I don't know if you could do that with a potato as part of your meal. Just having, like, a boiled potato with nothing on it. But you could do this as part of a meal. So although you're getting all the calories and the starches and the carbohydrates and everything else of a potato, for me anyway, I could probably eat this as part of a side dish and not have salt or butter on it. Now, the amount of olive oil I used was very, very tiny. It was mainly enough just to sort of grease the pan. It was a very small pan anyway, so I probably used maybe a teaspoon. But it still turned brown just like regular potatoes, but it's a really hard flavor to describe. So I thought, you know what, that sort of saved it. It's enough that I can come and I can talk to you about it and say, okay, here's what I think you should try. You may not like it. You might like it. I don't know. If you like potatoes, though, you probably are going to like these. But you keep reading and people kept saying, oh, well, it's got a nutty flavor. And I didn't quite get that. Because generally, that to me, that always comes across as being just a weird, not even really vaguely peanutty flavor. But, yeah, it has a different taste to it. And it's one that's really hard to describe. But I would recommend that you go buy them. They're fairly cheap, actually. I got this one. Well, this is half of it, anyway. I got this for 85 cents. So they're about the same price as a potato. Apparently, even though I have never seen it before, and I went, oh, this is something exotic. Apparently, it's insanely popular and common. So you should be able to... Oop, I just tore something off it. You should be able to find it wherever you are. If you don't have it at like a regular grocery store, you can probably go to some place where you figure they have relatively good produce, and you might be able to find it there because apparently it's really common. I'd definitely buy it again. I'm going to check to see if the regular stores around me have it first, because trying to get to the city market where I am requires quite a bit of... It's right in the middle of Uptown. And it's really hard to get to unless you're walking quite a distance, which I don't want to do. But don't eat it raw because I almost dropped it. Because apparently it is toxic and it can make you sick and make you throw up. But I just boiled it and then threw it in a pan later on. But apparently you can treat it pretty much the same as a potato. You can boil it, you can mash it, whip it, you can whip it good. So just however you would normally prepare a potato, you can do the same thing with this. And I would suggest, just to get a good idea of the flavor first, before you add any salt or butter or anything else to it, just try it plain after you cook it. Because it is a different kind of taste. And I know I should really be doing this after trying a regular potato with nothing on it either, because it might just taste exactly the same. But it had like a potato-y flavor mixed with cashews. If you like cashews. If you don't like cashews, I don't know why. They're awesome. And they're very bad for you. But yeah, so it sort of saved itself from the chopping block, so to speak. Because I wasn't actually going to do it. Because I just figured there was no point in saying, hey, look, it's a new kind of potato. But I figured where Amy had done hers, and I've sort of just been going on snacks for the majority of the time, I thought I would try something a little bit different. It's not really as exotic as I thought it was going to be, so probably we'll look for something a little different next time. But it was something that I had never tried before and something that looked really weird. So I figured, oh, I will try this. And that's it. As you can see, it, again, looks like a hairy potato. Except on the other end, which is just filled with, it's, like I say, it doesn't have that grainy texture that a potato does. And when you cut it open, it looks like it's bleeding milk. It's really weird. But it was well worth it. I thought it was pretty good. So I didn't run into any problems with irritating on my skin or anything like that. So I don't know how accurate those ones were. It might just be for sensitive people, or the fact that there are some, like, maybe thinking it's like lime or rhubarb or something. There was rhubarb there. I was going to do that. But pretty much everybody knows what rhubarb is. And we get it quite a bit around here. And I just eat it raw. It's very, very good. I like sour stuff. So that appeals to me, because it's not really bitter. It's just insanely sour. And it's very good for you as well. So some of you may not care for it, but it's very tasty. So that's pretty much it. That's all I have for today. I had actually spent so much time sort of decrying this little thing that I was going to try to find another snack alternative, which I did find, and I'll do next week, and it surprised the shit out of me. It was something that I thought, oh, well, you know what? I'll do this because this is what I usually go for in place of chips. And so I actually did the numbers, and it's way worse than chips. So, yeah, I have not been doing myself any favors. But you can eat more of it with... Anyway, we'll do that next week, because it was kind of odd. But as for this, in my head, all I can think of is hairy potato, over and over. So, sorry. Go watch the movies. Go read the books. They're very good. Because now I have to sort of make up for it, the fact that I've been calling it hairy potato instead of, yeah. But really, that's what you're going to be looking for. Is they're really small. They're kind of misshapen. I got one that was pretty much spherical. So, because I thought it's just going to be easier to handle. I don't know which side to cook, which end is the root that you don't want to... Well, the whole thing is a root. But like an onion, where you have the eye of it that you don't really want to cut till the very end. I didn't know how to prepare it, didn't know what to do, so I figured I will get one that's fairly symmetrical, but they're just all over the place. But it's something that I would probably buy again and prepare, and I mean, you could probably add, obviously, salt and pepper and things like that to it. But when you first try these, then I really do suggest just trying it plain, just to get an idea of the taste, because for a side dish sort of thing, you could do it without salt and butter, and you can still get quite a bit of flavor out of it, which I was really surprised at. I always think of a potato as being very bland, especially if it's just like baked or something, or boiled, which is why we just dollop all the butter and salt and pepper on it, which is still very, very good, but it's very, very bad for us. But I wanted to try this one plain. Usually if I'm trying something new, I just want to try it that way just to get an idea, to see, okay, no, it definitely needs salt, it definitely needs this. And it's not salty. I don't want to give you that impression, because, again, it's not that, oh, it doesn't need it. It could use some, like, salt and butter would make it better. Don't worry. But you don't really need it, or I didn't find that you would have to have it on there. Just because there is that unique flavor to it, that you sort of want to get that flavor out of it, just to try to figure out what it is. And that's really the best thing I could come up with, was that it was like potatoes mixed in with cashews. So, which I don't know how accurate that is. But that's it. That's all I have. So I have made fun of kids' books, shown you a new vegetable, and hopefully you'll be able to try something new. But for that, this is going to be a very short video, unfortunately, because there's not a lot I can say. I can't say, well, again, you can prepare it this way, because it's the same way that you would cook regular potatoes. You either boil it, or you mash it, or you fry it. That's it. And before you fry it, you're probably going to boil it anyway. I don't want to test the toxicity of it, because I don't know how severe it is. I don't think it's enough that if you eat a raw one, you'll die. But I don't want to throw up. So I'm just going to say, no, I'm going to cook it. And apparently it gets rid of all the toxins. As soon as you cook it, then boiling or frying or whatever you're doing leaches out all the toxins. I don't know how, because it's very sciencey and wibbly-wibbly things. Very timey-wimey, sciencey things. So it's well above my pay grade. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't have much more to give you because it's a little tiny hairy potato. So go look for it. They're called Eddos, EDDO or EDDOE. I thought I did 3 Ds there. So if you don't find it at a local supermarket or wherever you're going, try someplace that normally has like regular fresh produce, even if it's seasonal. I don't know when these are available, but well, they're available in the summertime, obviously. But I don't know if it's a year-round thing. But if you do find them, grab 2 or 3 of them just to try. Because I think that you may like them. If you like potatoes, then you'll probably like these. They just have a really unique, different kind of flavor. Texture is the same for those texture people out there. That there are some people that it's not a matter of flavor or anything like that. It's how they feel. They act just like potatoes. They aren't as crumbly. So after I boiled it and I put it in the frying pan, they mashed up fairly well. I didn't really need to add any moisture to it. I find with potatoes, after you boil them and you start mashing them, they crumble into nothing. These were a little stickier, so that might be why I didn't really need a lot of butter or anything else in there. But anyway, I'm babbling and going to start repeating myself. So yeah, it's pretty much, it would be like a potato that you've just thrown in a mouthful of cashews at the same time, which is really interesting. So try it. Try something new. Sort of, this is the week of trying new things. And next week I will share my erroneous assumption of my previous snack food, which unfortunately I think I'm going to have to forego because it's really bad. I thought I was just doing a great thing. It's like, oh, this is so much better. No, not really. Not by a lot. So anyway, they're just as bad, if not worse, than chips. So I'm going to run some more numbers and try to take a look at that and find out exactly how bad they are. But that's for next week. But for right now, one more glimpse at your little hairy potato and the big white thing in the middle. Awesome children's book. I'm going to write that now. And it's not infringing on anything. So fine. What are you going to do? You and your millions of dollars and your incredible talent. Anyway, that's it for this video. So thank you very much for watching. If you liked it, please poke the like button for me. In the meantime, keep yourself warm and fuzzy, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.